Start your week smiling with your friends, Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. It's time to get ready for some weekly motivation with WPMotivate. Happy Friday, Kathy.
Happy Friday, Michelle. It's a little bit different this time, isn't it?
I know you're not sitting right next to me in the warm, beautiful desert with the windows open. No, there's snow on the ground in Rochester today.
Is there really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. It was a
yeah,
nice trip, wasn't it? I watched our
it was.
episode from last week and I was just like feeling sad that it happened so fast.
I know it was over so quickly, but it was so good to see you and like not just see you like I see you on my computer screen, but like see you, hug you, enjoy a meal together. All of that. It was so good.
Laugh, have fun, meet new people. Can I just
Yes.
tell you,
Yeah.
I have an idea for our topic today
Ooh.
because, I did write a blog post after the Sunday morning after I got home. I was just like, very much in the vibe of like my experience. So I wanted to
Mhm.
write a blog post, and the big session of that blog post is about you
I saw it.
because I've been to a lot of word camps. I have been behind a lot of tables and worked a lot of booths and been in a lot of rooms where speaking has occurred, sat at a lot of dinners, gone to a lot of after parties. And
Yeah.
there's something special about you, Michelle. Can I just
Aw.
I'm not stroking your ego, but I am gonna a little bit because you you make everybody, and maybe you can like share some of your magic with me, but you make everybody feel like super comfortable, like they belong there, and like you've known them forever. There's no like, oh, let's how do you use WordPress? It's like, no, you're already like best friends with everybody. Like
I
there's no
like
like
people.
trick to it. You just do it.
I just like people. And I remember what it was like going to my first word camp. Like when I went to my first meetup, okay, so my very first meetup ever, I like when it was run by a bunch of guys here in Rochester. One of them was the husband of one of my best friends. And she wasn't really in WordPress, but he was, and he started a blog for us and whatever. Anyway, that's another story. But he says, "Hey, we're having this meetup. Why don't you come?" So I go to this meetup. It was upstairs, no elevator. And luckily back then I could actually take the stairs slowly, but take the stairs. So I get there and like the room is already dim because they've got this projector that they're going to use. There's
Mhm.
like 10 guys sitting around, not a single woman in the room. And then there's me. And they launch into this topic. Like they don't go around the room and introduce themselves and have any of that like that we usually do, right? They launch right
Yeah.
into the topic. And it was on like AWS and it was on CSS. And for somebody who were like, I have a blog somebody built for me, I could like feel the wind over my head as all these topics whooshed by me, messing up my hair. They were going so fast. And I thought, I'm in the wrong place. And I sat there and I didn't say a word because I literally didn't know anything about CSS. I didn't know how to inspect element, like all the things, of course, that I know how to do now. But as a brand new person to WordPress, I knew one person in the room. They were in charge of the room, so they couldn't sit by me and like give me any indication of what's happening or hey, don't worry about it. This is really intense for usually we're not this like any of that conversation. I literally just sat there feeling like if I could make myself small enough to like slide under the door and leave, I would have. And it's
Ooh.
not to say they weren't friendly. They weren't purposely leaving me out. It's just the way that kind of went. It was probably 2 years before I went back to another meetup.
Wow.
And so I started going a little more because yeah, they weren't all that bad. And then they were like other people would talk or lead or whatever. And then they said, does anybody want to like take over running this group? Well, they were doing it such as they'd be like, hey, we haven't had a meetup in a while. Everybody free next Tuesday? And I'm like, my brain and my schedule can't handle that kind of spontaneity. It's Friday. Let's have a meetup on Tuesday. So I said, yeah, I'd be happy to coordinate this. First Monday of every month, 6:30 to 8:30. We're gonna have a year's worth of topics in advance and went a little crazy that way. But I never wanted anybody else who comes into the WordPress bubble, the WordPress community, to feel like they don't belong like I felt like I didn't belong that first time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I presume competence about people, but also give them the benefit of the doubt. So instead of saying, um, oh, I know you, I'm sure you know all about this, and then, or just assuming they know all about this, I will turn to somebody. If it had been like that room where I didn't know anything, I would turn to them and say, is, do you know how to do this stuff? And if they were like, no, and like the deer in the headlights, I'd be like, me neither, but next month is going to be about like marketing or whatever it takes to make somebody feel like they're not alone if they're the deer in the headlights that day, and I just always want people to feel like I found my people. Like they walk into the
Yeah.
room, whether it's a meetup or a word camp or whatever it is, I want them to be able to approach. I want to give that smile that says to somebody, you can be part of our group. And I want people to leave there feeling like I I'm part of something amazing and something big, and people included me and they liked me. And so if I can help bridge that gap so that people feel included, then I want them to. I want people to come into our fold and have the
Yeah.
experiences that I've had. I have been tremendously blessed by this community. Has it been all roses? No. Do I have arch enemies? Yes, I do. But they probably see me that way. I just live my life and move on. Um, but I don't want other people to kind of like come and then leave because they didn't feel like they belonged where they found. If they feel like they didn't belong, it's because of something internal to them, not because they weren't embraced and invited in. So I sit at tables with people I don't know. I sit at a table that's empty and invite people to join me. I call people across while if I'm repping a table like we were, and I see somebody walk by, I'll just say, hey, welcome. Do you have any questions? Whatever it is. This is your first time. You can tell a first timer. Is this your first word camp? And because they're the ones going, do I wear my name tag around my neck or, kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
just always, always, always want to be the person that says, everybody here has value and everybody here has something to share and everybody here can learn something from everybody else. And if you're the person in the room that is so elite you can't talk to the newbie or thinks you don't have something to learn, then you don't belong in our group anymore because you have elited yourself right out of it.
Yeah.
We gotta yeet the elite. I just made that
Yeah.
up. Or take a look at yourself in the mirror, humble yourself, and remember what it was like when you first joined a group of people. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're the CEO of a company. I don't care if you are the janitor of a company. Everybody has a place. I've been both, right? I was a freelancer and I was the CEO of my own little one person company. But I also started my life, my very first job ever was janitor of my church. And so no matter who you are, you contribute to society, you contribute to the community, you contribute to your place of employment, and everybody should be treated with equal respect. So I just got on my soapbox again, didn't I?
You did, but I like your soapbox a lot. I do, because some of the best experiences that I've had have been, and I feel like some of the best experiences that I've had are sitting next to somebody who's brand new and they've got the schedule printed out in their hand or on their phone or something, and they're not sure which to go to. And I ask them, what do you do? What are you doing with
Mm-hmm.
WordPress? And then say, oh, well, this person's, knowing the topics and then being able to like help somebody match that up. That has always
Mm-hmm.
been like, okay, I've been of service. I'm helping somebody get
Yeah.
on their way. I don't know if I'm out of practice on doing it, but or maybe just it took a lot of effort for me. I was tired the entire time I was there. It was
It
just
was
like
exhausting.
yeah, but just like the whole like getting everything ready at home, getting everything ready to go, not feeling like I rehearsed my talk at all, and so getting up at 4 a.m. and rehearsing. I was so tired, but I just didn't have it in me, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, "How does she do it? How does she do it?" Because you're just like but honestly, I think because this is sort of like your purpose, like your life purpose, and when you're on purpose, you get energized by that experience of
Mm-hmm.
welcoming someone and connecting with someone new. And
True.
I just you're just so I feel like this is your purpose of just like helping new people feel like they belong, helping, there's a lot of people who've been in the community for a really long time that are very introverted, but
Mhm.
you make everybody feel so welcome, and people want to celebrate that. And I also love that you won the GoDaddy prize. I was just like, how perfect that you're going to use this for the shirt, because we all got these speaker shirts and Michelle had everybody sign it. And so you're going to use that.
I ordered it. It's supposed to the display case arrives on Monday, so I'm excited about that.
I just felt like that was just like a serendipitous miracle. Like it just highlighted almost like, the divine way of the universe is like, yeah, let's just show Michelle's doing, this is what Michelle does. This is what she does well. And we're going to play along too. It's just like, I
So
was just so amazed with what you do at an
you
event.
sh-
It's,
you should have seen some of the people's faces that I didn't even know, and that might have been their first WordCamp. And I'm like, oh, you signed my shirt? They're like, me? I'm like, yeah, I signed my shirt. And that was in itself, I was like, I should bring a shirt to every WordCamp, because that made people feel included and involved too. And that
yes.
was so fun. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Yes. Well, they are included and involved. They were part of the, because an event
Yeah.
comes together very, the people who show up make the event what it is. It's not,
Mhm.
obviously, the speakers are great, the organizers are great, the volunteers are great, the sponsors are all great, all of those things. But the people who show up and interact
Mhm.
with all of that
Right.
make the event. So everyone who
Mhm.
shows up brings a piece of themselves
Yeah.
into it. So I love that you're doing that. I think all WordCamps should do something like that,
Oh,
like
it's so
something that
fun.
represents like, okay, if you were at WordCamp Phoenix 2019, there's something physical representative of the fact that you were a part of this.
Yeah, that's neat. Speaking of WordCamp Phoenix 2019, it was 2020, wasn't it? They still had, they still had the the lost and found, and they still had a
Yeah.
pair of eyeglasses that somebody had left at WordCamp in 2020, and I just about died when I was like, wait, what did they just say? They're like, yep,
Yeah.
still 3 years. If you don't claim them this time, we're getting rid of them. It was
Oh
so
my gosh,
funny.
that's so funny. That
So
organizing
funny.
committee is just
They were
amazing.
phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was a truly accessible event for disabled folks like me. Everything, they had a little lift in there, everything was accessible. It was really, really, really well done. So I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
it was so close, we got to walk. I mean,
Yeah.
roll. I rolled, you walked from our hotel right over to the venue. So we didn't even have to Uber or anything, which is super awesome.
I I was I felt like I was holding you back because I was walking so slow, but you could just like vroom. You could go so fast in that
So,
thing.
so the funny thing about those mobility scooters is there's a dial that will limit how fast you go, right? So, but it
Yeah.
doesn't say like minus to plus or slow to fast. It's literally got a picture of a turtle at one end and a rabbit at the other, and it's like, oh baby, I have that on the rabbit all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that is so funny. It did actually change, like, because where we live right now, we live in a very rural area. I mean, my backyard backs up to Army Corps land. There's all kinds of animals out there, and then there's a lake over there. So, like, if I kept walking that way, it would be like 10 miles. Well, I'd hit a lake, but it's like nobody back there, right? We're like
Right.
we're in DFW, but we're kind of on the edge of nowhere, which I kind of like. But for my husband, like his wheelchair is, I can't get that in the back. I've got an SUV, but there's no way. And even some of the Lyft drivers, even if they were there, I don't think the two of us could do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like super limited of like his mobility. It's like this part of the house, and that's about it. We could go for walks, but he doesn't want to. But like watching you like tooling around in downtown Phoenix, I'm like, this is more what we need now. We need to be in a more like city center, very accessible kind of place where I could say, all
Mm-hmm.
right, let's go. You're coming to the grocery store with me. No sitting
Right.
around this house anymore. It would be so much better
Mm-hmm.
for him. Just watching how like easily everything was for you really inspired me to think about what can I do for him.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Oh yeah. Hey, I hope he can get a scooter then. I was hoping something he could manage, because it really does feel like freedom. I nicknamed my scooter Freedom
Yeah.
because I get
Yeah.
to do things like I wouldn't. I have traveled alone without before I had a scooter, and I have to use wheelchair service in airports. And wheelchair service is great. The people there are great, but you still lose some of your freedom to just decide you're going to turn around and go look at something else. I want to go to the bathroom. I want to go grab a snack or whatever, because you feel like you're beholden to this person who's pushing you all over the place. And a lot of those are retired people, and I'm not a skinny person. I once had an 80-year-old guy pushing me across O'Hare, and I swear to God, he said to me that a year and a half before that he'd had a heart attack, and I'm like, oh dear God, don't let today be the second heart attack, because he's pushing my fat ass from the airport. So having my scooter come up between flights and everything, it really does give me the opportunity to just kind of like be where I want to go and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I still get to board the plane first. I go down all the way down to the jet bridge on that thing, pull out my cane and walk onto the plane slowly, but I walk onto the plane
Yeah.
and it's, yeah, and I've had a really good experience with this.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that you name it freedom, because that's what this
Yeah.
is all about. That's what WordPress is all about, though, too. It's like giving
Yeah.
people freedom to express their voice, giving people freedom to
Yeah.
connect, and yeah, I
Democratizing
just adore you.
publishing. Oh, likewise. I think you're the best. I will be your. I was like, I think I put this on. I don't remember where I put this. One of your things that you wrote somewhere. I was like, I will be your sidekick any day. Let's take the Kathy and Michelle show on the road, because I had so much fun with you.
Yeah, totally. Yep. That's why before we started, I was like, hey, have you seen this event? Hey.
Let's do it. It was really, really awesome. And honestly, the people who were there, just like, we were right next to the Beaver Builder guys. They
So
were
fun.
so fun. And right on the other side of them was Chad from rocket.net. He is just everybody. And if I like looked at them, even just to say hi, they're like, did you need something? Can I get you something? Like, they were just so amazingly like cued into everything, and then
Yeah.
yeah, I can't believe I won. The GoDaddy gift card. I was like, well, that's gonna buy the thing for my
Yeah.
my jersey.
That was
And
just so perfect.
it was a good event. It was really, really, I
It
needed it.
really,
My soul needed it. It was a good event.
yeah, really good. So the name of this episode I decided while you were talking is
Oh yeah.
I found my people.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah,
Because it fits for me too.
it does. As soon as I really did come into, I would say my first word camp, which was WordCamp Buffalo 2015, I think.
Yeah.
I like a friend invited me to go, and I didn't really know anybody there. And as soon as he walked in, I was like, there's somebody I know. And I like literally like puppy dogged after him all day, because I was like, I don't know these people. And then after a while, like, he was going to dev talks and I was not going to dev talks. So I was sitting in a room. Chris Lama gave a presentation I listened to. Mike Demo gave a presentation. I didn't even
Mhm.
know who they were. Like, I was so new to the scene. And I like literally on the drive home was like, when is the next word camp? What city is it in? And how fast can I get there? Because it was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was amazing.
So
It's just how people
awesome.
are. Yeah, I love it.
It is.
So awesome. So I think we could go on the road, because we're both pretty accommodating people, and need a little bit of night, an evening here or there to just cocoon in my hotel room and recharge my batteries. But other than that, it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah,
we have to do it again sometime. And I'm really
absolutely.
excited. I'm really kudos to the Phoenix organizers for, because this is one of the first in-person events, and it was just kind of like the perfect size for people to get comfortable again.
Mhm. Yeah,
I just think it was, I think we're back. I think as a
me too.
community, it's okay to start up again, and
Mhm.
let's do this. So if you're
Let's do
listening
it.
and you're an organizer, hey, let us know how we can help you service your
Mhm.
community, serve your community in the WordPress space, wherever you are, because I think it's really important. It's important it's not just important for WordPress and for all those of us who like earn a living in the WordPress space, but it's also important for your community to make sure that voices end up freely on the web. The whole promise of democratization of our voices is
Mhm.
so important to our communities, no matter where you live, no matter what kind of political situations you're in, or activism that needs to happen, or, just like dog pictures and kitty cats and like all of the fun things too. Like, there's something really important about owning your own platform and building your voice and your brand on something that you own rather than on other social media platforms. I mean, leverage them, but send them back to
Mhm.
WordPress and your site.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're here for it. So, and we're here for you.
absolutely. Let us know how we can help you. You can DM either one of us on Twitter. You can hit up the contact page on WPMotivate.com, or you can DM the WPMotivate Twitter account as well. We are paying attention to all those things, and we want to be a resource for you because we've been where you are. And for some of you, we hope to get where you are. So we're somewhere in the middle. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, Kathy, I will be your people if you'll be my people all day, every day.
Anytime. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Well, we don't know what the next week's going to bring us, but we will absolutely be back, and we look forward to talking to y'all again soon. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
This has been WP Motivate with Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. To learn more or to sponsor us, go to WPMotivate.com.